Well, hello, my YouTube friends. So the parts involved in this project were either purchased on eBay, and that would be all the vintage parts, all like the modern parts, store-bought stuff was purchased at Stevens Bicycles. They're a full-service bicycle shop located at the northeast corner of Willow and Knees in Clovis, California. Of course, you can Google it or search them, and you can see exactly where they are. They've been very helpful. They understand like the older bikes, even though that's definitely not their specialty. But if you're in the Clovis area, Fresno area, there's a lot of bicycle shops. Stevens Bicycles is where I've been doing my shopping. So, okay, let's go ahead and get to the rest of this video. Well, hello, my YouTube friends. So here's the BMX again, the old Mongoose that once belonged to my younger brother. May he rest in peace. If you go in the playlist, you'll see that I have new tires on it now. I went to the bicycle shop, Stevens Bicycles. They've been very helpful. They set me up with this, new tire, but with the old school tread pattern. I got some other parts here from these guys. They ordered some mushroom grips. These ones are like almost identical, except they're not as yellowed. So I'll be replacing those. I got some brake shoes. They didn't have white. We'll see if these should work. I got the brake cable housing assembly. Got a chain, standard chain. I was going to just hammer the pin out with a punch, and they said, well, you don't want to damage your chain. You could use one of these chain breaker tools. I said, all right. It wasn't too expensive. It was only $16. Anyone that does very much home hobby work knows how it is that you buy tools that you only use once or twice, and then they spend the rest of their lives in your toolbox, but at least you have it. But before I begin adding those parts, I'm going to pull this apart, this freewheel, because it didn't. And I'm going to pull this off and check the bearings. Now, the bearing kit that I bought for the crank area, I forget what that part's called. I used all the parts except for the original cups that are pressed into this big tube right here. Those are still in good shape. I already greased those up and reassembled it, so that part's good. But before I set the distance here and put the chain on it and all that, I want to get a closer look at the bearings here and the bearing cup. Even though it spins nice, when I was examining it previously, it seemed like it needed a full inspection. So let me get busy with that, and we'll see how it looks once I get it taken apart. All right, hold on. All right, I disassembled the axle. I left the freewheel in place. Apparently that screws into the hub. I know it's removable, but I left that in place. Now this axle right here and this bearing races, I left that lock nut in place, and I knew that I would pull it out this way, which is good because when I inspected this, and you can kind of see it right there already, look at that bearing race. So that's going to have to be replaced. And because I specifically, intentionally left this part assembled, part of the reason was I felt it would help me center the axle. So I know that this one rode against this one, and I inspected the race in there very carefully. It's smooth. Now the bearings got mixed up. I don't remember which bearing is which, but they appear to be okay. I did inspect the opposite side race. It looks good, but tomorrow I'm going to have to go back over to Steven's Bicycle and talk to them about this. They supplied me with a new axle for the front with the proper thread pitch, the proper thread size and pitch. So I'm sure they'll be able to help me with this. I'm not going to put together or install like any of these other parts until I have the wheel taken care of, because for one thing, this has to be ready and then in its proper place here before I can install the chain. So, all right, my friends, as soon as I get this taken care of and I'm assembling it, then I'll give you guys an update. All right, you have a good day.